A very warm greetings to one and all. I am Lieutenant Navodita, Associate NCC Officer from Trinity College, Jalandhar, Punjab. Now, I'll be taking a lecture in this video and my topic is Permanent Commission of Lady Officers in Indian Armed Forces. I'm sure that the topic might create an interest in you since it is related to lady officers and especially about their permanent commission. So let's move forward. Introduction. Working for Indian Armed Forces is a matter of great pride and honor irrespective of the gender. In Indian Armed Forces, men officers are eligible for permanent commission, whereas women officers are eligible for short service commission only. Over the years, women officers have found this rule discriminating and have expressed their criticism towards it. On 17th of February 2020, Supreme Court gave the landmark verdict in favor of permanent commission for lady officers. Now, first of all, I would like to mention the difference between permanent commission and short service commission. In front of your screen also, you can see that permanent commission means a career till retirement. You will be in the Indian Armed Forces till the time you get retired. But for the short service commission, you can do your job only for 10 years and it is extendable up to only 14 years. So over the years, the women officers, the lady officers, they got job in Indian Armed Forces for sure, but they got jobs only for under short service commission and never under permanent commission. So they criticized this rule of Indian Armed Forces and they have, you can say that due to their much efforts, on 17 February 2020 finally the Supreme Court of India, they have given a landmark verdict in favor of permanent commission for women officers. Now, here is a statistical data in front of you which was released by PIB on 8th of Feb 2021. Till the time from the starting when the Indian Armed Forces have been recruiting officers, the number of male officers to the number of women officers, you can see that the percentage is so low. In Indian Army it is only 0.56%, in Indian Air Force only 1.08% and in Indian Navy only 6.5%, which is quite low. Now, let us understand the facts and figures first. Let us understand its early evolution. Induction of women officers in the Indian Armed Forces started in 1992, means before 1992, the women officers were not allowed to apply under Indian Armed Forces. The commissioning for a period was, at that time, the commissioning was for a period of 5 years under the Women's Special Entry Scheme in certain chosen streams. In 2006, this particular scheme was replaced by Short Service Commission and the commission period, as I have told earlier also, it was 10 years which can be extendable up to 14 years. In 2008, there were some changes that the government has extended permanent commission to women officers in two branches. One was Army Education Corps and second was Judge Advocate General. Under Indian Army or Indian Armed Forces, there are various branches. Out of those branches, there were two branches in which the women officers were they got the jobs, and in these particular two branches, they got the permanent commission also in 2008. Now, these are the particular branches in front of you in which a women officer can be commissioned. These are total 14 branches in front of you, starting from Army Aviation Corps, Army Corps of Signals, to regiment, Artillery Regiment only for non-combat staff, and Territorial Army as well. Means even today the lady officers, they cannot go for war. They cannot go in any artillery corps, in any armored corps, or you can say that they cannot go under combat training. Wherever they go, they get the job under non-combat staff only. So these are the particular branches under which lady officers or women officers are commissioned under Indian Armed Forces. Now, challenges faced by women officers due to short service commission. If we need to talk about the need of permanent commission, we should understand that what was the problem with short service commission. There were narrow job opportunities as lucrative age of women officer was passed. Since after 10 to 14 years of their career in Indian Armed Forces, the main productive years of their career, they have gone by then. So at that time, their job opportunities get narrowed due to that. Limited career options after tenure completion, only fields like security or coaching for NDA CDS exams were left. Physical foundations after pregnancy phase restricts from adopting new challenges. No mental peace as they have to lower their work standards with civil staff. Of course, even if you are not from an army background, I am sure that all of us know that Indian Armed Forces is a force which leads with discipline. Everything which happens under Indian Armed Forces, under any office of Indian Armed Forces, it is maintained with full discipline. And once we come to some place which is being handled by civil staff, we cannot see such kind of discipline. So the mental peace is gone of all the women officers if they have to work in a civil environment after doing a job for 10 to 14 years in Indian Armed Forces. So now here is a route map of their battle towards the permanent commission. In 2003, a case was filed in Delhi High Court. In 2010, after 7 years, the High Court made a verdict in the favor of women officers. They said that government should give permanent commission to lady officers, to which at that time the government challenged this particular verdict and they have gone to Supreme Court. But after that more 10 years, means in total 17 years, in 2020 finally the Supreme Court of India, they have given verdict in favor of women officers. Now this was the particular news article in front of you, in which also they have given the timeline since 1992 to all the battle which they have been fighting for their rights. So yes, this particular is the timeline. And in 2020 also, due to COVID restrictions, the government has also called for, they demanded some time relaxation for applying permanent commission to the lady officers from Supreme Court. And on 24 July 2020, finally the government of India announced permanent commission for women officers in 10 non-combat branches. Out of all the 14 branches in which a particular officer can be commissioned, the 10 were selected for permanent commission. And these are those 10 branches: Corps of Army Air Defence, Army Corps of Signal, Corps of Engineers, Army Aviation Corps, Corps of Electronic and Mechanical Engineer, Army Service Corps, Army Ordnance Corps, Intelligence Corps, Judge and Advocate General JAG, and IAEC, that is Army Education Corps. Now there is one more you can say hurdle in front of women officers, that if you want to transform your short service commission to your permanent commission, then there are some physical fitness standards which you must maintain. Only after that you will be able to convert your short service commission to permanent commission. And this includes a battle physical efficiency test, which includes 5-kilometer run, 60-meter sprint, climbing vertical rope up to a certain height, traversing horizontal rope up to a certain distance, and jumping 6 feet ditch. The army has made it mandatory for all the women officers, including those commissioned before 2009, which were above 35 years of age, who were and that was earlier exempted. Means actually there was a rule in Indian Armed Forces that if you have been commissioned before 2009, then you were exempted from this particular physical test. But after, when government has announced permanent commission for women officers, Then Indian Army made this mandatory for the officers which were commissioned before 2009 also. Now, due to that, the result of that particular physical fitness standard imposition was that forces proclaimed that 70% of the women were eligible for permanent commission out of all the women officers which were short service commission earlier. However, the data reveals that out of those 70%, only 45% got their permanent commissioning, and this figure stands in stark contrast to 90% of short service commission of male officers which they got permanently commissioned. And now on 25th March 2021, there was a latest verdict from the Supreme Court of India to consider the grant of permanent commission for eligible women officers who were excluded on the grounds of fitness standard. The SC has directed Army to consider the grant of permanent commission for women officers within a month and allow permanent commission within 2 months after following the due process. So, now whatever the discussion we had, what would be the effect or implication if lady officers are permanently commissioned under Indian Armed Forces? It can cut off the shortage of almost 10,000 officers in Indian Army, as now women officers can serve for more than 14 years. We have a shortage of Indian Army officers which can be cut short if a women officer is there for a longer period of time. It will boost the work coordination between men and women, of course. Freshly graduated girls will see Army as a permanent career option and not just for 10 years, and it will serve motivation for women to join Indian Armed Forces. This is actually a quite big achievement if it happens that a freshly graduated girl will be motivated more now to join Indian Armed Forces because she will see a permanent career option over there. And lastly, after permanent commission, if women prove to be efficient as men, then it will open the doors for women in combat arms also, as we have in countries like Israel. So, at the end, I would like to conclude on the remark that permanent commission for women officers should be supported to the fullest, but at the same time, the physical and mental fitness standards should not be compromised. And that's it. Thank you.